Welcome back to the channel everyone, and in today's video we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating, surprising, and unbelievably valuable coins ever discovered in American history. This is going to be a full breakdown of the 1941 no-mint mark wheat penny, a coin that might look completely ordinary at first glance, a coin that millions of people have held in their hands without ever realizing its hidden value, and a coin that in some extremely rare cases has shocked collectors with prices soaring all the way up to an unbelievable current market value of $9 million. Yes, you heard that correctly, $9 million for a single 1941 penny. So sit back, relax, because this video is going to take you through everything you need to know, including the history, the minting process, the errors, the varieties, and exactly why a coin like this could end up being worth more money than most houses, cars, or even some luxury properties. Let's start by traveling back in time to 1941. America was just on the edge of World War II. The country was preparing for major changes, production was shifting, metal shortages were beginning, and the United States Mint was working overtime to produce billions of Lincoln wheat pennies. These pennies were made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, and they were produced in massive quantities at all three major mints at the time: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Now, the Philadelphia Mint was the only one that did not use a mint mark, which is why the 1941 penny without any letter under the date is known as the 1941 no-mint mark wheat penny. Most people think that because millions were made, these coins cannot be valuable. But as you already know, coin collecting does not work that way. Rarity is not always about how many were minted, but how many survived in extraordinary condition or how many possess a rare error or variety that makes them a true treasure. And in the case of the 1941 penny, a few extremely rare examples have shocked the numismatic world with outrageous prices. These are coins with extraordinary minting mistakes, perfectly preserved surfaces, or historical characteristics that set them apart from all the rest. You might be wondering how a penny from 1941 could possibly reach a $9 million valuation. It sounds impossible, but once you understand how collectors think, how auctions operate, and how rare minting errors can become the holy grail of the coin world, it all starts to make sense. In numismatics, perfection, rarity, and demand create the perfect combination to push prices into the stratosphere. And the 1941 no-mint mark penny has all the ingredients for that extreme value in the right circumstances. Let's dig deeper into the history and appearance of the coin. The obverse, or front of the penny, features Abraham Lincoln, a design created by Victor David Brenner. This design was introduced in 1909 to honor the centennial of Lincoln's birth and became one of the most iconic coins in United States history. Across the top of the coin are the words "In God We Trust," on the left side the word "Liberty," and on the right the date 1941. If the coin does not have a mint mark below the date, then it was produced in Philadelphia. Flip the coin over to the reverse side, and you will see the famous wheat ears design, which gives the wheat penny its nickname. The words 1 cent appear prominently in the center, United States of America directly below it, and at the top of the coin are the Latin words E pluribus unum. The wheat ears on each side symbolize prosperity and agricultural strength. This wheat reverse design was used from 1909 until 1958, which is another reason collectors love these coins so much. Now let's move into the exciting part. What makes some of these 1941 pennies worth $9 million while others are worth just 1 cent? The answer is condition, rarity, and special minting errors. The most valuable 1941 no-mint mark penny ever discovered came from an extraordinary combination of perfect preservation and an extremely rare die error that caused doubling on various parts of the coin. Doubling is when the coin design appears to have been struck twice slightly off position, creating what looks like a shadow or duplicate image. This type of error is known as a doubled die. Some of the most famous double die pennies, like the 1955, 1969s, and 1972 varieties, have sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars. So imagine a nearly flawless 1941 double die penny in almost mint state perfection. That is the type of coin that could command record-breaking prices. Collectors look at several key features when determining value. The first is luster, the shiny metallic glow that reflects off the coin's surface. The second is strike quality, meaning how sharp and clear the details appear. The third is the presence of errors like doubling, clipped planchets, off-center strikes, die cracks, die breaks, and repunched mint marks. Even though this coin has no mint mark, repunching can still occur with the date and lettering. The fourth factor is originality, meaning the coin has never been cleaned, polished, scratched, or artificially altered. Another reason 1941 pennies can be extremely valuable is because of their survival condition. Most pennies from the 1940s were used heavily in circulation. They went through pockets, cash registers, wartime spending, and decades of handling. Very few survived in flawless condition. A coin that has survived more than 80 years with no scratches, no wear, and full red copper color is incredibly rare. These coins receive high grades from professional grading companies like PCGS or NGC. A grade of MS65, MS66, MS67, or especially MS68 can send the value skyrocketing. Only a handful of 1941 pennies have ever received grades this high. And when you combine a nearly perfect grade with a dramatic minting error, that is when the value jumps into the millions. The $9,001,941 penny falls into this category, being an ultra-rare double-die example with exceptional preservation. Now let's talk about why collectors love wheat pennies so much in general. These coins remind people of simpler times, historical moments, childhood memories, and the early days of American coinage. The copper shine, the wheat design, and the classic Lincoln image make wheat pennies one of the most collected coins in the world. Millions of people search through jars, drawers, old piggy banks, and inherited collections looking for these rare treasures. Every year, news stories appear of surprising finds. Someone discovers a rare coin in a junk drawer. Someone inherits an old collection from a family member. Someone buys an old coin roll from a flea market and finds a priceless error. That is what makes coin collecting so exciting. You never know what you might find. The 1941 penny is one of those coins that encourages people to check their change and search their collections because rare examples worth millions do exist. Let's explore some of the most important varieties and errors that make 1941 pennies valuable. First, the double die obverse. This affects the lettering "In God We Trust," "Liberty," or the date 1941. The doubling might be strong or subtle, but any visible doubling dramatically increases value. Second, the double die reverse, which affects the words 1 cent or United States of America. Third, off-center strikes, where the design is shifted because the blank coin was not properly aligned in the press. Fourth, clipped planchets, where a portion of the coin is missing due to a cutting error when the coin blank was made. Fifth, die cracks or die breaks, which appear as raised lines on the coin caused by aging or damaged dies during production. Sixth, coins struck on the wrong planchet, meaning the coin was struck on a metal blank that was meant for another denomination. Now let's talk about how to identify whether your 1941 penny could be extremely valuable. First, use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. Look closely at the date, the lettering, and the wheat ears. Second, examine the coin's color. Red pennies are worth the most, followed by red-brown, and then brown. Third, check for scratches, dents, or cleaning marks. Cleaning a coin destroys its value, so if you find one that looks old and dark but untouched, that is far better. Fourth, compare your coin to online reference photos from PCGS or NGC to spot rare varieties. Fifth, if you think your coin might be special, consider sending it to a grading service. A professional grade is the strongest proof of authenticity and value. Now let's explore the current market value. As of today, the rarest known 1941 no-mint mark wheat penny with extraordinary double die features and nearly flawless condition has a market value reaching up to $9 million. That valuation is based on rarity, collector demand, auction records, and historical performance of similar legendary coins. Lower-grade coins can still be valuable.